All right, can everybody see that?
Yep,
Or can somebody confirm they see it? Okay, great.
I can.
All right. Well, thank you so much again for anyone that's able to join us this afternoon. Saturday, it is June 26th. We appreciate your time in hearing out what is an exciting proposal that we're working on that will be a combination of affordable housing and a cultural arts center. This is a collaboration with 5T Management, Miller and Ferguson, and Pilsen Arts and Community House. The location, as you see on this first slide, indicates the building is on 1812 Ashland Avenue. And that's just rendering right now as we get started with working on more info. So we're going to do a little introduction for each of us that are part of this team. And we'll definitely start here with Steve from 5T Management.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us to tell you about what we think is an exciting project in the Pilsen neighborhood. My name is Steve Thomas. I'm with 5T Management and Development, and this project has birthed itself from a encounter initially that I had with Javier Cervantes, who's also on the call, and we were at a different location doing something totally different. And we got to talking about this project here. And Javier, again, being somebody from Pilsen, the neighborhood, and knowing the neighborhood and what it means to the people there, thought it'd be a great idea for Greg and myself to meet with Teresa and Pablo. And so we've had some conversations, and out of those conversations, what you're about to hear from us is what we think is a perfect project for the neighborhood going forward. Greg?
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Greg Miller. I am a partner in Miller and Ferguson and a developer of affordable housing in the Chicagoland area. I've been doing affordable housing, practicing law 35 years and doing affordable housing 25 years, specializing in collaborating with not-for-profits and providing either co-developing services or consulting services in their vision for developing affordable housing.
Great, thank you. So for those of you that don't know me, my name's Teresa Magaña. I'm the co-founder and executive director at Pilsen Arts and Community House, formerly Pilsen Outpost. Myself and I'll try not to talk too much for Pablo. I have a bad habit of doing that. But we started Pilsen Outpost Gallery about 8 years ago, and which started out as what was going to be a gallery and retail space has evolved over the years into more of a community space in which a lot of the creatives and artists in the Pilsen neighborhood have reached out to us for a variety of resources, support, and just as a platform to help support their creative endeavors. I'm an artist myself. I've also lived in Pilsen Little Village for a good part of my life. I've moved around Chicagoland area quite a bit, but definitely my formative years and at my core, Pilsen and Little Village has always been what feels like home and important for myself and for my kids and my family. I felt really excited about this project in the sense that being able to put together what I and Pablo both feel passionately about as far as having affordable, accessible housing in our neighborhood that we've grown up in, and pairing that with offering community space in the arts and just with our culture in general. It was just such a good match. I personally have experienced not necessarily being displaced, but finding it very hard and difficult to move and navigate between Pilsen and Little Village because of the prices, the rents, the affordability, and the accessibility. So with this project and what we were presented in becoming partners with this, it just was just a win-win. I mean, I think this is something that we have heard from our community members, not just the artist community, but just the residents in general that and people that we've grown up with in the area. So we feel really strongly and confident in going on this endeavor with both Steve and Greg.
All right, so again, Teresa summed up pretty much all of what we kind of do, but we're Pablo Ramirez. I'm an artist and the co-founder, Pilsen Arts and Community House. Like Teresa said, we've been doing this work in the community for 8 years, but through being passed down, my mother's work in the community as an organizer, my work as a community organizer, we've continued to try to maintain the fabric and the cultural identity of this community, and we do it through the arts, and we're excited about this partnership. We are carrying on the legacy of, you know, the Apo building, Casa Slan, and we take all the people that approach us for projects like this very seriously, and we go through all the consideration. But I think here with Steve and Greg, we really found a partnership, an ownership as well. And I think that's what we're excited about. So let's kick it over to the next slide.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the development at hand. It's going to be a total of 42 residential units spanning over 7 floors. It will have on the first floor dedicated cultural and community space. And the project will be funded hopefully by the city of Chicago through their multifamily affordable housing program. This is a competitive program, so we are in the process of preparing our application for submission next week. And we should know by late September, early October, if we were one of the successful applicants. We feel very strongly that this is a project that meets all of the city's priorities and interests. So we're optimistic that we will be successful in obtaining financing. Move on to the next slide. So in addition to the Pilsen Arts and Community House and Steve and I, another component of our development team, another participant in our development team is the architect. That is NIA Architects. They've been in Chicago for over 25 years. Both Steve and I have worked with NIA in the past, both on new construction and rehabilitation of existing structures. And so we felt it was important to engage a firm that had a background and expertise in both, as this particular project will have both a rehabilitation component of it as well as a new construction component of it. In the lower right-hand corner, you'll see one of the representative developments that NIA designed here in Chicago. It was a Little Italy library and affordable housing development. So here we have a black and white rendering of to the left, the front of the building. So this building is a historic structure. We intend to maintain its historic characters, meaning that the facade and the first 3,000 square feet of the floor plate will remain intact. With the front of the building, we're obviously going to clean it up, power wash it, replace windows with period correct windows, and take the fire escape that's running down the front of the building away. After the 3,000 square feet, we're going to knock the back part of the building down and put up a new building that will be 7 stories tall. And that is where most of the residential units will be housed. To the right, you see a side view of the building, of the new construction component of the building. Next slide, please. And then, so on the back of the building, the architect is calling this an alley, but this really is not an alley, that's a city street. And so that's what the rear of the building will look like. we're exploring the possibility on that west elevation of also engaging a community artist to provide a mural for that side of the building, so that even though most of the buildings don't treat that as a public space, we intend to the extent that we can. And then on the right side is the north elevation of the building, showing what it'll look like on that side. Okay. This is a site plan of the ground floor, very preliminary, because on the ground floor, especially to the right, which will be the Ashland side, that portion is the portion of the building that we intend to try to maintain the historic character. So this is kind of a sketch of what we hope that we can do. We'll be working with the Historic Preservation Agency and, quite frankly, following their guidelines of just how much of that 3,000 square foot floor plate we can change, but that will definitely be the space that will be dedicated to the Cultural and Community Center that Pablo and Teresa will be operating out of. And then in the back, at this point, we have parking, albeit for 7 cars, but we do have some indoor parking. Next slide. So this is the next slide is of the second floor. So the second floor will have just a little background. Up until a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, before we start getting community input, this was a building that had studios, 1s and 2 bedrooms. After hearing feedback from the community and as well as the Alderman's office that there's really a need for 3-bedroom units, the architect went back and reconfigured the layout to provide for 4 3-bedroom units. Those units in the second floor, as well as the third floor, will be in the Ashland or eastern side of the building. And then you can see on the left side, which will be the western side, is where we have the 1-bedrooms. And on this second floor, we actually have one of the efficiency units as well. And then again, going up, we've got 2 bedrooms in the front half of the building, efficiencies and 1-bedrooms in the western side of the building. But on this floor, we also have a what is designated here as an amenity space, which is an open space that will be available to the residents. As you can see, it opens up from the interior of the corridor, but also, most importantly, it opens up to the outdoor space that will be on the rooftop of the existing historic structure. So it'll provide for outdoor community space with indoor space adjacent to it, the community space, so that, you know, if the residents or there's some community events that, you know, will be more appropriately suited to have both indoor and outdoor space, that level will be able to accommodate them. And this is the upper level floors, again, with the 2 bedrooms to the front and the efficiency and 1-bedrooms to the western side of the building. So as again, we have 42 units. The configuration mixes, we'll have 7 efficiency or studio units, 23 1-bedroom units, 8 2-bedroom units, and 4 3-bedroom units. On the left side of the screen, you see the rents that we'll be charging. Under the city program, we are required to maintain a level of affordability, and that affordability is determined by an annual chart that comes out every year that says what market rate units are, what units at the 80, 60, 50, 40, and 30% of the AMI or adjusted median income is for Cook County. So we will have units that will be at 4 of those designations. We'll have no market rate units, but we'll have units at the 30, the 50, the 60, and the 80% units. It's 80% AMI. And to the left, you see what those respective rents will range from for both a studio, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom units. Next slide. Our targeted population is going to be the LGBTQ, as well as any people of color, artists and creatives, as well as small families. One of the things that we intend to do, the city a couple of years ago commissioned a study that they call the Racial Equity Impact Assessment. And as a result of that report, they came up with 8 points that they feel the city needed, and the city did adopt as platforms for creating racial equity. One of the platforms, or one of the suggestions, was that when it comes to accessing affordable housing, that there's certainly a concerted effort to provide it in the city, but providing it so that it is accessible to everyone is something that really hasn't been concentrated on. So in our operating manual for this building, and our what they call tenant selection plan, which will guide us in what tenants or how we rent the units, we're going to try to remove as many traditional barriers to access units as possible. Most importantly, there'll be no restriction for undocumented individuals. They'll be welcome into the building. Individuals that have had a uneven rental history, where they might have had some late payments or even an eviction, won't be a elimination factor. As with any rental process, we'll do a holistic evaluation, but having an eviction or problems having paid your rent in the past by itself will not be a barrier to entry.
All right, thank you, Greg.
Okay.
This is where Pablo and I take over a bit. So again, for those of you that aren't familiar with how we've been operating, we were formerly Pilsen Outpost Gallery, and last year we converted to a nonprofit organization. We had already had a trajectory of going towards that path, but with the pandemic and everything that we were going through, just trying to figure out how we were going to sustain ourselves and keep the doors open, we accelerated our timeline to become the nonprofit. So we've been very fortunate, super blessed with the community support and individual support that we've received to help us up until this point. As you can see in the photo, we have this front gallery space, and then there's these little stairs, going up to this back area. And I think our square footage is between maybe 900 to 1,000 square feet. So just imagine in that, what we consider an okay space, but it's a small space, we've been able to accomplish quite a bit, and being able to move into a space that potentially would be, close to 3,000 square feet, with different areas for us to utilize is really exciting. We will continue a lot of the same programming that we've been doing as Pilsen Arts and Community House, but definitely we'll be taking advantage, more of building on the programming that we have. So, we do formal gallery exhibitions. We do try to keep a flexible community gallery wall so we can support, a lot of the local artists. Workshops and classes have ranged between, arts related classes to professional development, to health and fitness, wellness. It's a variety. A lot of folks come to us just to be able to use and utilize the space. We haven't really been able to use our space as far as meeting rooms, but occasionally, somebody knows that we're closed on a Monday or Tuesday, and they'll be like, hey, can I work out of there for the afternoon? We have an open door policy, so we try our best to accommodate the needs. So going into a bigger space, we hope to have some meeting rooms, some flexible studio rooms. Definitely would like to take advantage of a performance space. We've been able to work with quite a bit of local filmmakers and being able to do some more film screenings. We're building on some literacy programming with 51st Ward Books. So we definitely want to include some sort of small library, have a small kitchen, and of course, have an event space to not just use for necessarily all the arts and culture activity that we're doing, but also to have event space for the community to use, for whatever culturally engaging activities they might have, or, possibly, be able to accommodate some private family events as well. And here's just some photos of how we've utilized our space. It's some of these two pictures on the lower right hand corner. This was our part of our original space on 21st and Damon. So we've evolved from doing a lot of that same programming in that smaller space to then growing into the one on 18th. From the exhibitions to doing film screenings, as I mentioned. There was some storytelling workshopping going on here, and some traditional painting, or this one's more of a fun sip and painting class. We've also partnered up with local businesses, so this is Prism Arts. She's a local entrepreneur. She's been utilizing the space with us for quite some time to be able to help run her sip and paint classes. So we're very open in how we make the space available for people to use to help them get towards, their creative endeavors that they're on in their path. So a lot of times we're, offering, mentorship as well, and helping to help facilitate and support, their ideas. What we also definitely want to include with this, collaboration of housing and the arts and culture in here is also really working with our community partners. As the gallery and as the org now, Pablo and I have been able to establish some really great relationships with a lot of the local businesses and people that work with different orgs and offer different services. So with that support network, we definitely want to reach out to them to have them be a part of this development as well. So it's truly for all of us working together. Some folks that we have in mind to establish that more with is Verde Wellness. They focus on mind, body, and spirit type services. Viva Healthy, they focus on physical fitness. Mi Medico Clinic, we've been working with them for almost 7 months now, in which we offer art therapy classes for their patients. So it'd be really great, for them to, the residents, of this project, this development, to be able to access, these type of facilities and services, or have them come to the residents as well. El Paseo Garden, we have a great relationship with them too, and they have a big open space that they utilize as well for the community. So we definitely want to build on these partnerships, like with the Pilsen Food Pantry. Also utilizing the network that we have to be a hub and a resource center for the residents to be able to help them, direct them where they have questions on, maybe legal services, tax services, real estate, immigration, and child and overall mental health services. And then just speaking on, kind of education on like real estate and home ownership, we have a good relationship with PICO, which is a community co-op in which they're helping families purchase in a co-op setting. So, we've talked about this, and how do we teach our community residents to build towards building wealth by ownership. And so, being able to work with our network to help educate folks and support them in that way is definitely going to be a big part of this as well.
And again, just super excited, long-term commitment, here to stay. Patch and our partners, we would hold ownership and control the development and management of the property. I don't think we mentioned at this time, but these apartments are going to be affordable for at least 30 years. And I don't know if Greg wants to talk about that a little bit later on, but we are stakeholders in the community. We've been to a lot of these meetings, and we see that the two most important things are affordable housing. The problems with displacement are huge in the community. So partnering up with Pico and other partnerships to create and maintain residents here in Pilsen is a priority, but also as offering a safe space for the community is equally important, because we've seen these community spaces come and go. We've seen smaller galleries and spaces where community meets get displaced as well, or just be kicked out of their spaces. So I think this is important, that we're going to be here for 30 years. And I think we're just super excited about this partnership. And let's see what the next slide says. So these are some fun facts. Plzeňský Sokol, this is one of the 6 that were built in the Chicago area, including that same Apple building on 18th Street. It housed Czech social, cultural, and athletic clubs, was used as a Czech community center that included educational classes, lectures, libraries, performances, theater, and other entertainment free to the community. So that's very familiar to all the things that we see and do. And no tickets were needed for admission, but it's just a fun fact, but the use of Bohemian language was used as a password. And obviously we have a link there. We're just excited. It's a historic building. We're excited at this opportunity. Let me see is there any other slides, Teresa?
Last
All
one.
right, so thank you again for sitting through this. We are very open to feedback, questions. We also have a survey that we are going to add to the chat right now that everyone can fill out, whenever they have time. And if you're watching this video through the website, then we will have a link below as well for the survey. And we're opening it up right now for questions.
I'm going to pull up that link for the survey. I'll put it in the chat in here in just a second. And then also, just so everyone's aware, we do have a landing page on our website. So if you go on our website in the menu, there is an item that says, a menu item says Pilsen Arts and Community Apartments. And that's where we'll have updates, as we go through this process. As Greg mentioned earlier, we probably won't hear anything right until the fall.
Correct.
But any info that that we do have available to us, we'll post it on there. We'll be running a report on the surveys that we receive. So we'll also make that public as well, just so you all have, a visual of how these questions were answered by community members.
I just wanted to say one thing. I was not aware that this was happening in the community until I saw it popped up on my Facebook page, and decided to actually make the time to attend this meeting today at 2. And I'm very happy what's been happening between the 2 of you who started with the organization, like you said, 8 years ago. I'm happy that it's a fresh perspectives with the younger generation. What is still needed to continue in this community to go on forth for the future, like Pablo said, for the next 30 years. Because I'm more of the older generation when I grew up here, where the other older activists who are here for the community, and I'm just happy that you both had started this and doing this for the affordable housing. Being that I'm the parent of my youngest daughter, who's a college student on her last year, and who recently got displaced herself from, because that's her own decision to live on her own, but she got displaced, couldn't afford it. She has one more year because of the pandemic. She had to put up one more year because she's an art student, and she felt that was best for her because since it's hands-on in school for her. And so she moved back with us here, and so I'm happy that this was happening, to be maybe in the future an opportunity for her maybe to one day be one of those residents and also be part of the art community that she's she's in right now herself. So I just wanted to put that out there as a positive thing that you guys are doing. And I'm very happy you were able to form the partnerships with people to do this, you know, with 5T Management and Miller and Ferguson. So yeah, I did notice really quick because the slide went kind of quick for the amounts of the rents, you know. But I guess I have to just have
Mhm.
to understand myself that this is how it is now. You know, I kind of feel like it's a little bit high, still kind of high, but it, you know, you only know why and how it works. So I entrust in you that that's you know what it is, you know. But yeah.
Well, thank you. We definitely appreciate that feedback. I'm a mother of a 19-year-old, and obviously she's still at home with me, but we definitely had that same mindset. Is like, how are the younger, the next generation of those of us that have grown up here, how are they going to be able to stay here? So that definitely was part of our conversations as we were, working on this. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
I can
No,
relate.
yeah, my youngest is 22. So yes.
Mhm.
So yeah, she's my youngest of, and all my other children had to move away. They had no choice. They were born and raised here. They wanted to live here, but they couldn't, as far as the affordability. And like again, I'm glad that you guys are doing this, So, yeah.
Great, thank you so much.
Well, hello,
And what
everyone.
was your name again? Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, mine is Melba Aparicio.
Okay, gracias, Melba.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Montserrat Alcina. I'm an artist here in Pilsen. I've been around for a while and have known Pablo and Teresa for many, many years, and so excited about this project. It's something that, hi, Marta. Wow, I am just ecstatic about this because I think it's a dream that many of us have had for a long time, and being able to bring different people together, it's amazing. I think I had a dream or something like that maybe 12 years ago or so, when I was running, coordinating Pilsen Open Studios. And a friend of mine, Alejandro Medina, and I went to look at the building a couple of times. And we walked around with the owner and just dreaming about bringing the African-American culture, like groups that are right next to us, and the Mexicans together, and everybody else that is in community together to do something like this. I mean, this is beyond my dreams, really, because you're putting in there like the affordable housing. And I feel like, yes, the prices have gone up in general in Pilsen, but I feel like what you're offering is very, very reasonable. And it's just amazing. I wasn't on time for the meeting for different reasons, but it's just what I saw, and of the building that you were capturing, and keeping the front of the building as much as possible. I'm a little sad that the inside of where the auditorium is, and the balcony area, and that seems like it's gonna just go away. But maybe you can like keep the little treasures of the architectural part of the inside somewhere else, like included within the renovation of that, so that we have that in our adventure when we're walking around the hallways, and maybe, I don't know, like part of the mural or part of something on the outside, or just to put it out there, preserve some of that. Yeah, and the basement, I love that Russian bath in the basement also. That's so cool. So
You know that building well.
I remember it. I mean, I had it. I even drew it back in the day. I have all, back in the stage area where they had the gymnasium, right? And the locker rooms. That's like really pretty interesting spaces. And it feels like you guys have like really been able to imagine this building in a way that It's going to serve a lot of people, and 42 units in there between the studios and the 3 bedrooms. Yeah, I mean, the 3 bedrooms, the design, I looked at it very, very briefly, but I would suggest to have more open spaces in the kitchen and
Okay.
even, open it up.
Okay.
Try to keep it. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm like, just like,
No, that's okay. That's okay. That's the kind of feedback we want to hear. Absolutely.
Yeah,
open up the spaces a little bit as much as possible to keep the light in there, because it's going to feel maybe a little bit enclosed. As
Mhm.
we'll have to look at
But-
the designs a little bit more for more feedback to the architect.
and
So-
we're really excited about those 3 bedrooms, Monse, because they're at the front of the building. Those are the ones with the larger windows. They're really going to be nice 3 bedrooms and affordable, right? So I think we're excited for those many families that are going to be able to live there.
Exactly. I'm so excited about that. And I love the fact that you're opening it up to anybody who's had a hard time, because a lot of people have a hard time. And then people close their doors because they haven't been able to pay the rent for one reason or another. So to give the opportunity to those people, it's wonderful. Yeah, it's great. And Pablo and Teresa, I support you 100% with this, and whatever I can support you and do whatever I'm here for you guys, and for Greg and Steve, Mr.
Thank
Miller,
you.
Mr. Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's wonderful what you're doing. Love that. Really, really love it.
you.
Thank you.
Marta?
I just want to follow up with my friend, my dear friend. I call her the architect, because Montserrat is the type of person that says, I'm going to do this. And there she does. She does it. She has great ideas. I feel her same joy, and the same joy that Melba Aparicio had, that we're familiar with that building. We've all dreamed about it. We all, what would you say, looked up the history, and we were always wondering why is it not being used? I personally like dance. I did theater, and I'm thinking it would be nice to have dance spaces. That was like a social place, probably what they did dancing. So that's just a dream, another dream. But the thing that I think I want to say most important to all of you that are planning it, and all of us that are supporting it, you're doing something new. You're doing something in collaboration, with the Black Latino community, and hopefully more, people that want to collaborate and see this as an opportunity. My advice to all of you is that be an example, because, we're used to the status quo. We're used to the status quo in terms of, what places which places we can go, and which places we cannot. We need to start bringing this unity from the center, from the heart. We also need to educate the community. What is affordable? If we're struggling because, everything goes up, but not our salaries do not go up. So we have to advocate for what really is supposed to be affordable. And then we have to bring the unity. And the unity is going to be brought by collaborations such as this. And, learning of one another, having this respect, breaking the boundaries that we have from neighborhood to neighborhood. So yes, let's all just put our thinking caps, support it, and you take the lead in breaking the stereotypes, in breaking the barriers. Somebody says we don't need borders, we need hugs, we need friendship, we need solidarity. So we're here to support you, and I hope everyone, participates, that you have more meetings like this. I think this is a learning curve for Pablo and Teresa, and for us, and let's just continue building on it. This is a dream, right, Monse? A dream come true.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you for your
Thank you.
kind words.
Just hi, it's Javier Cervantes. Just getting on I put my video on, but I just wanted to let's say that out of this being an amazing development, and what about being an example of how we could work very well with a developer that cares about the community, cares about people, cares about the culture of the neighborhood. When I saw Steve a couple of weeks ago working at a different project in the back of the yards, I cared about the neighborhood and the fabric of the neighborhood. And we would love to have something like that to keep our long-term families still to be in their neighborhoods. And we're fighting to keep our culture and our identity as Pilsen. And so I just wanted to say that I'm really excited that this the partnership is happening, and it's a beautiful proposal, and I'm excited and hopeful that we definitely can make that happen here in Pilsen.
Thank you, Javier. So I think, does anyone else have any questions or comments? Well, thank you guys all for joining us. I think we're gonna log out right now, fill out the surveys, please. And we will keep it rolling. We will be doing more of these presentations in the future, so keep tuned to our website, and we always have programming available for the community and for the artists that are here. We all know we kind of collaborate together, so that's exciting. So thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great
Thank you.
weekend.
Thank you, everyone.
Everyone have a great weekend.
All right,
Bye.
everyone enjoy themselves. Be safe.
You too.
Thank you.